Alright lads, so a couple of days ago we did get the first look at the new Bleach trailer, and with that, I want to make a video talking about it because I haven't actually really talked about the trailer outside of my initial reaction, where I was actually very, very excited. Hold on! Oh shit! Oh shit! Now that clip was taken from a reaction of mine when I did watch the trailer with you lads live on YouTube, and unfortunately because I did live stream the event, I did get a strike on my channel.
Wait.
And that ultimately meant that the live stream where we did talk about the event and the trailer was taken down. So currently, as it stands right now, I have no video talking about the trailer. So here we are to do that today. To go over everything that you missed in the new Bleach 1000 Year trailer. A very exciting trailer for a very exciting anime set to release in October 2022. We've been waiting 10 years for this, so who says we can't wait another 10 more months? And as always, if you lads do enjoy the video, make sure you show support by liking the video. And down below in the comments, let me know what was the most exciting moment for you that you saw within this trailer. And even though it is obvious, do note that this video does contain spoilers for the 1000 Year arc, so if you haven't already read it, then I recommend you stay away from this video. So starting off the trailer, we have the Bleach text plastered all over our screen right in the middle in beautiful white text. The font they are using is actually the 1000 Year Blood War font, something that we can see on the Japanese volumes of the Bleach manga covers. When it comes to the Japanese covers of the volumes, every Bleach arc has a different type of font. In this case, we have the 1000 Year Blood War font, since we are about to start the 1000 Year Blood War arc. The Bleach title then starts to get engulfed by the color red, symbolizing blood and also symbolizing the start of the 1000 Year Blood War arc. What we're about to witness is nothing like we've seen before. Bleach is turning a new page into a more grittier anime with all the combat, death, despair that this final arc does bring. At the same time, this slow build-up is just getting us ready and more excited for the inevitable return of Bleach when we finally get our first look at what the anime is going to be looking like. The theme song playing in the background, unfortunately I can't play it right now because this video will get claimed, is a remix of Ichigo's #1 song, his theme song that we heard back in the OG anime. After that, we get our first look at the official Bleach anime, and good lord does it look amazing. Looking at the night sky of Karakura Town, it's well animated, well drawn, it's beautiful. Then we get our first look at Ichigo with a very badass reveal. Unfortunately, we don't get the full reveal, but we get enough to get us excited. This scene is actually taken right out of chapter 480, the start of the 1000 Year Blood War arc, where we have Ryunosuke overpowered by hollows and Ichigo shows up just in time. What we see right here of Ichigo is probably going to be the first time we see him in episode 1 when it does air in October. We then get our first look at the hollows that do appear in this episode, the hollows that Ichigo does eventually defeat. Personally, I think these hollows look absolutely amazing. Right after that, we get some close-up shots of Ichigo's friends, Chad, Orihime, and also Uryu. Now, one important detail that you might have missed is actually Orihime's eye colors. Originally in the Bleach manga, they are colored orange. In the case of the anime, for some reason, they were always gray. So this is one change that we're seeing here, knowing that Kubo is actually a supervisor when it comes to the character designs, is that we're probably getting more true colors to the manga than what we've seen in the past. In this case, we have Orihime have a different eye color. Funny enough, this is a mistake that Bleach Brave was also made, where they actually show the manga panels showing Orihime have orange eyes. They zoom up on her eyes too because it was an important moment of the final arc, and instead in Bleach Brave Souls, she also has grey eyes. So now we have a more accurate version of Orihime, where instead of having grey eyes, she has orange eyes. In addition to that, the shots that we do see of Ichigo, Chad, Orihime, and Uryu are actually kind of original to a certain extent, because during this moment in the manga, Ryunosuke passes out and we have a point of view of Ryunosuke, so we basically skip the entire fight and jump to when Ryunosuke wakes up, where we get told that Ichigo and Ko completely wiped out those hollows. And what's likely to take place is that we're going to get reintroduced to the characters once more, because we haven't seen them in a very, very long time. And personally, I think that's the best way to reintroduce the main cast of Bleach. And then after that, we get a title telling us that original story was done by Kubo. Now, I do want to mention here from the get-go is that everything that we just talked and saw is probably going to be appearing in episode 1, showcasing that Period, the ones that are animating this, have potentially either finished or already started the first episode of this new arc. Everything else we see after this is way too far in the manga to already be animated, and that's why you see a big difference in quality in terms of animation, because what we just saw right now was fluid animation, stuff that we're going to see in episode 1 compared to stuff that we're not going to see for potentially 20 plus episodes, and that's why they're basically just manga panels animated a bit just to give us a quick glimpse of what the characters will look like. And the first character we get to look at is Rukia Kuchiki rocking her new Royal Guard outfit. What I like here is that we can actually see the first design of Rukia, where it pretty much stays true to the manga, although she just has a slimmer face to kind of keep in touch to the OG anime. The background being red also emphasizes the character that we're seeing, Rukia Kuchiki, very similar to how Kubo has done it, where he doesn't include backgrounds on purpose. In this case, Period was able to actually add backgrounds, but at the same time not lose focus of the character that we have on our screen. In addition to that, what also stands out here is the background of the houses. In this case, they are covered in ice, but the ice is more so blue, which I think is done on purpose because during this scene we will see Rukia's Bankai, which is also an ice-based attack, and the white ice will completely engulf the area, and we'll be able to see the damage this Bankai can do because we'll have a comparison to blue ice, which will be plastered around the house already, and then we'll see her snow white ice, the power of Rukia's Bankai. After that, we get our first look at Renji's animated design. In this case, it looks very, very cool. Again, very similar to the actual manga chapter itself. This moment is taken right outside of chapter 561, more specifically page 19, where Renji does show up and addresses Master Masculine. In this case, Renji is calling himself a villain. It's a very cool moment for Renji, and I'm glad they included it. We then get another close-up of a character that we are very fond of, in this case, Kisuke Urahara, during the battle against Askin. In this scene in particular, it's actually during the part where he's talking to Askin about what it actually means to be a scientist. Again, just like Renji, it's a very cool moment. It doesn't spoil anything, but I am glad it's included. After that, we get our first look at Yoruichi, the first time she does appear in this final arc. Now, one big thing to notice here is actually her hair color, because what we do know in the anime, she originally had a more bright purple hair color. If you can compare this scene to the actual anime hair color, you will notice a somewhat darker purple hair compared to the one in the anime. This again, once more, is very similar to the Orihime situation where her eyes changed from grey to now orange. And with these two examples of Period staying true to the actual character design, their official colors, we could potentially see Ranku get rid of her orange hair and go with the blonde hair that she always had in the manga. Unfortunately, we can't confirm this just yet because she wasn't shown in the trailer, but I do think it's very likely that when we get our first look at Ranku, she will be rocking the blonde hair, which personally I'm all for. I think blonde looks better on her. Byakuya is then the next character to be shown, and this scene in particular is kind of funny, judging by everyone's reactions. A lot of people saw this and for some reason thought it was CGI. It just goes to show how well designed this particular image is, because it's not using any type of CGI at all, maybe besides the Senbon Zakura flying around him, but that's really hard to tell, and it's not that big of a deal if they do decide to CGI that part. That said though, this scene does take place during chapter 569, right before Asnot's defeat. After that, we get our first look at Toshiro, although it's not the last time we're going to see him in this trailer, as he does get a second time to shine. In this case, this is during the scene where he does go against Basby during chapter 548. Shinji then takes the spotlight during this part of the chapter, during 505, and this is right before Yamamoto does unleash his Bankai, where just by Yamamoto being in battle, it is encouraging people like Shinji. In this case, that is the scene that we can see here. We then get our first look at Soifon, and this is actually a very cool moment for me personally, for those that are wondering if the Fauziwaga arc will be censored. And while it has already been confirmed by Kubo, and James was the one to break the news that the final arc will not be censored, this is further proof to show that. Because while this trailer doesn't show any gore for the most part, we can see that she is using her original design. Because if you don't know, in the original anime and the Senkin Go for Yoruichi, they both have this white underclothes under their outfit, just because they don't want to show or expose their side boob, something that was actually in the manga. Going forward into the final arc, we can see right here is that Soifon will not have that, and she will have her original design exposed in her underboob, and we can see for some reason her panties have now changed from black to white. Don't know why I noticed that, but I did. But personally, I'm just very excited for uncensored content, and also at the same time, we might actually see that scene uncensored. Kensei then gets an extreme close-up on his face, looking really angry. This was during the Master Masculine fight, nothing really to talk about here. But we do at least get a look at Rose, not exposing his Bankai, however. This is the scene where he does use his Bankai, but for those anime onlys that do first see this, you won't be expecting Rose to be using his Bankai here. But this will be a very exciting moment, and I'm just happy again once more to see this in the trailer. Both this scene and the Kensei one take place during chapter 560 and 561, where they do go against Mask the Masculine. And just like the Shinji scene where he gets inspired by Yamamoto, we have another scene where we have Sajin also being inspired by Yamamoto. In this case, he's actually shouting at some random Soripers to get ready because Yamamoto is fighting. Now, in this scene, Sajin is actually very well detailed. I know it's just a still image for the most part, but his teeth look really, really sharp, and the fur looks very cool too. Luckily for the animators, they won't be having to draw him like this for much longer, but we can notice a color change here, similar to Orihime and also Yoruichi. In this case, Sajin's shoulder pads are now burgundy brown compared to the anime's design where it was more so red. Personally, I'm more fan of the red design, but this isn't really that big of a deal. But I definitely prefer the red over the burgundy brown that we have here. We then get another close-up shot of Jushiro's face, showcasing him in the final arc. Nothing much to say here besides this scene takes place during the moment he activates Kamikake. Hopefully I said that right. I think I didn't. After that, we get our first look at Yachiru Unohana. In this case, I'm actually very excited they included this shot. More so because it brings up more questions than answers. This doesn't outright spoil anything that does happen during this part of the manga, but what it does show is Unohana looking sadistic. And for anime onlys, you might be wondering, or they might be wondering, because no anime only should be watching this part of the video, they might be wondering, why does she look like that? And personally, I think this is actually a very cool shot to include. And of course, once they show the first Kenpachi, you know they have to follow that up with the Kenpachi. In this case, we have Kenpachi Zaraki when he battles against Gremi in chapter 571. Again, once more, the background is pure red, just to emphasize the character. When we do get the scene animated, we should have more background in the background. We then get a talking shot of Mayuri when he actually talks to Nemu during chapter 650, where Mayuri is basically scolding Nemu for actually saving him. It was actually a very sweet moment, and I'm glad they included it in the trailer. After that, we have Toshiro's older brother. And then to everyone's surprise, we then get a shot of adult Toshiro. Even though Toshiro already got shown in the trailer, they wanted to show him again, in this case with a massive spoiler for anime onlys. This doesn't bring up really any, it does bring up questions, but for most animes out there, it does ruin the surprise of adult Toshiro, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, this part is kind of like a really one of the worst kept secrets when it comes to the Bleach franchise. Bleach Brave Souls has adult Toshiro, Jump Force has adult Toshiro, the initial announcement of the trailer also shows the panel of adult Toshiro, so they're not really keeping it a secret. I guess they're assuming that most people already know about this version of Toshiro, which is fair, it's whatever, but I do know that some people don't keep up to date with the games and not the series itself, and for any anime onlys having this surprise ruined because of a trailer, kinda does suck, but what can you do? The Captain Commander Shunsui then takes the spotlight, in this case, proclaiming to Lie, hopefully I said his name right, that he is the Captain Commander of the Gotei 13. Again, very cool moment, one of the highlights for Shunsui's character. And I kind of like they included the background, not red this time like they did have for other characters. Instead, the background is complete black, which kind of matches the character. Very cool color choicing for this scene, personally. And then finishing up the last of the manga shots for the most part, we have an extreme close-up of Yamamoto right before he does activate his Bankai. I'm pretty sure this scene is taken when he shows up to Yuha for the first time with a bunch of flames behind him. Really well designed, and hopefully when we do get this scene animated, we can keep that design, keep that detail, because that would look really, really cool in motion with all the fire in the background. The next scene is the reveal of the final villain of Bleach, Yuha Buck. In this case, we can kind of get a close-up shot of his mustache, and I wanted to point out too, because in the actual Bleach manga, Yuha's initial design with the mustache eventually changes when we last see him, where he has a much thicker mustache. One could say, headcanon, that he just grew more hair, but it's just because Kubo changed the style for this character. What I believe here in the anime design is that his design is more so just to replicate the manga panel, and when we actually see this character animated in the anime, he's probably going to have more facial hair or mustache hair when it comes to that part of the episode. At the same time, we could also just go with a very similar route with the manga, where as we go by episode, he just eventually grows more hair. Who knows? But finishing off the trailer with an absolute bang, we have Ichigo charging up a Getsuka Tensho, which is very well animated. Everything about this scene is just beautiful. Now, what you can notice here, the difference between this particular shot and the stuff that we saw at the start is kind of less detail here, at the same time more detail, right? This scene is actually just an original scene for the trailer. I don't think we're actually going to see this in the episode at all. But the big thing that a lot of people notice is, why is Ichigo's Getsuka Tensho now purple? Well, this could have always been planned. Maybe the anime just went with a different color from the start. Maybe Kubo always intended for it to be purple, and now that he has a bigger role in the anime, he wants it to now appear purple. In this case, though, it's not like it's out of the blue, because what we do know is that Ichigo's true Bankai is also purple-based attacks. If you look at the true Bankai version of Ichigo in Bleach Brave Souls, we can see that all of his attacks are purple-based. And then if you look at his true Shikai form, his attacks are now red and blue. So of course, in his true Shikai form, you can expect his attacks to be again blue and red, and then when combined into his true Bankai form, it will then be purple. So I guess he's trying to be more canon or accurate to his final Bankai design, with his now Getsuka Tensho just being purple. And personally, I'm all for this new change, because I feel like the Getsuka Tensho in purple looks really, really cool. Especially in this anime sequence, it was the perfect way to end the trailer, where we then get our first look at the Bleach Thousand Year anime logo. Then after that, we get a look at the staff list and all the voice actors that will be coming back for the actual anime. In this case, when it comes to the staff, it looks really, really promising, as Perio is the one doing the animation. Shiro Sagasu is doing the music. He was the one to do it in the original anime, so that's actually very nice to see him come back. Masashi Kudo with Kubo Supervision will be doing the character designs, and then Tomohisa Taguchi will be the series director. And for those wondering what Taguchi has done in the past, well, what he has done in the past is actually Akudama Drive. He was the series director for that, and it was also animated by Perio. And funny enough, it's one of the best looking animes Perio has released in the recent years. So this anime, the Bleach anime, is looking really, really promising. And we can confirm her with the exception of one, that the entire voice acting cast will be returning to reprise their roles. The only difference here is actually Yamamoto's voice actor, because unfortunately Masaki Tsukada unfortunately passed away back in 2014 and will not be able to reprise his role. But they have replaced him with someone that we do know will do the role justice, as we have already heard that voice in Bleach Brave Souls, as his new voice actor will be Binbin. And it's also confirmed that the voice actors that played the Stone Ritters in Bleach Brave Souls will be reprising their roles for the anime in 2022. So that's basically the breakdown for this entire trailer. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, show support by liking the video. If you're new here, make sure you do subscribe, because while we are a BBS channel, we are going to be focusing on the Bleach anime when it does come out in October time. So make sure you're subscribed. We'll have a fun time reacting to the episodes, watching the episodes, talking about it, and hopefully I was able to show you lads today everything you missed in the new Thousand Year Blood War trailer.